When we reconvened in the attic the next day, and Sabine asked for our decisions, everyone else answered first. Jackson and Vince, that knifing smile. Yes. Cordelia and Katie, a solemnity, a series of quick, fluttering blinks. Yes. Sabine and Josie, smiling, gentle, already turning to the next person in the room. Yes. Christoph, a sharp nod. Yes. Devin and Ryan, a long, long pause in which their eyes focused on nothing. Then, voice low. Yes. I could feel the others' quiet relief, read it in their shoulders. All eyes were on Addie and me now. Addie? I said, but Addie said nothing. So I thought of Jamie. I thought of Kitty and Nina, and Cal and Eli, and Bridget and the girl with the silver blonde hair, and the boy with the face full of freckles, and all the other children who'd sat with us wearing Nornand blue. I thought of Mr. Conavent, of Jensen, of Lissa and Hallie in the basement twisting in the grip of a nurse while another prepped a syringe. Yes, I said. I didn't whisper. I didn't let our voice waver or tremble. Yes, we're in. The frequency of the meetings increased. Soon we spent at least an hour or two every day at the photography shop, sometimes on the ground floor, but mostly hidden up in the attic. At first we snuck out earlier in the afternoon, keeping a wide buffer between getting back to the apartment and Emalia coming home from work. But Emalia hardly ever strayed from her schedule, and we grew bolder. Going to the photography shop in the late afternoon or early evening was better anyway. It meant the others were off work and we could all speak together. Now that we'd decided to go ahead with the plan, we actually had to work out the logistics. We talked about explosives we might use, comparing compositions and complexities and quantities needed. We weighed liquids against solids and threw out ideas that required too much bulk. We needed to transport the thing after all, and only Sabine owned a car. Sabine had copious notes, lists of possible chemicals and combinations and where they might be found. I spent hours trying to read through them as she and Ryan discussed what he might build to encase different reactions, and how he could connect it all to a timer to make sure the thing went off when we wanted it to. They'd mulled over attempting to detonate remotely, but Ryan was hesitant about wiring together something sophisticated enough to work long range. It was disconcerting sometimes to see Ryan and Sabine together, hear them speaking and only vaguely understand what they were going on about. Ryan was alive during these discussions like he rarely was other times. There was no inhibition, no hesitation, no awkwardness. There seemed, in fact, to be nothing in the world but his books, notes, and diagrams. And Sabine, of course, who navigated this world as easily as he did. The two of them seemed to communicate half in code. More and more Addie and I felt out of our depth. We'd always ranked as clever, above average. We'd tested well enough to earn a scholarship to our private school, and classwork had rarely been difficult. It was one of the benefits of having two minds to everyone else's one. At the end of the day, though, we'd never bothered to study chemistry beyond what we were assigned, and this was definitely beyond our freshman syllabus. Sabine had never officially completed middle school, let alone high school. Emalia and Sophie hadn't yet joined the underground when Peter rescued Sabine and Christoph, so there hadn't been anyone to forge identification. For years they lived as society's ghosts, undocumented, half-hidden. But Sabine read, voraciously, and like Devin had told us, once she got old enough, she started sneaking into the lectures at the college downtown, soaking up whatever she could. Liquid oxygen and kerosene, Sabine said one afternoon. Cordelia was still downstairs since the shop didn't close for another hour.